Facebook. Good morning, everybody. How you guys doing? It is Wednesday. It feels like it's been forever because I didn't broadcast on Monday, so I was trying to get my thoughts together. I was like, is today Monday or is today Wednesday? Because on Mondays, the first Monday in every month, I am with my mastermind members. So I didn't broadcast on Mondays. But for those of you who follow me, you know I shared that with you guys that on Mondays, the first Monday in the month anyway, that's what I do. For those of you who don't follow, you can catch me 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Monday and Wednesday except the first Monday in each month. And I'm thinking that maybe a little dark on Facebook, not on my other broadcasts, but let me see if I can share this out really, really quick, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. How's everybody doing? You guys doing well? Listen, have you ever been in a phase in your business where you know you want to grow, but you're saying if growth means I have to add one more thing to my plate, I want absolutely no parts of it. Have you ever felt that way before? Like, you know you want to grow, but you know that growth is going to require you, or in your mind at least, you feel that growth is going to require you to do more. So I used to think, on that same level, with that same concept. Hey, Gary, first day on Periscope. Welcome. You'll enjoy it. You'll get a lot of information from broadcasters on Periscope. I actually started broadcasting live on Periscope before Facebook. Facebook didn't even have live streaming at the time. So welcome to Periscope. Enjoy. Be sure to hit the little Perry guy on the bottom to get notifications so you'll know when I'm on and you'll be able to catch my broadcast. So I was sharing with you guys to kind of think through your mind about when you think about growth, what does that even mean to you? And does the thought of having to do more work actually come into play? And I know that's how I used to think. Like, my vision was huge and I really wanted to grow, but I had hit this phase in my business where I was every minute, moment, hour of the day felt like it was already attached to some type of responsibility. And so the thought of growing even more, I just kind of pushed that thing to the side because it was like, I just need to get a handle on what I already have going on now, let alone talking about growth. But I learned that growing, if you're going to really grow your business, because we not only have a business to grow, many of us have a team that we lead, a team of people who help us either administratively or an assistant or maybe stylist or staff in our business, right, that we're leading as well, and then our own personal lives. But I learned that growth is not so much about doing more things. You guys don't hear me. It's not about doing more things. And we're going to talk about that on this morning. So how do leaders like yourself create room to grow, a business, a team, and their life? We're going to talk about that on this morning. For those of you who've never been in a live broadcast with me before, I'm Tanya Cherry, beauty business consultant, certified life coach, a transformational growth strategist. So I help entrepreneurs, service-based business, and salon professionals just like yourself to build, brand, and profit in their business. And many of my clients have really, really big goals and big dreams that they want to accomplish. And so I help them to develop systems through mindset, personal development, and business strategies that allow them to do just that. And on this morning, we're going to talk about how does a leader create room to grow, especially when we have so much going on already. Some people are so busy, they're forgetting to do small but very, very important things. I was actually, watching a broadcast where someone was saying they forgot to pay a substantial bill, right? How many of you, maybe it's a small bill that you really don't even think about, but you're always forgetting it, or something important that you need to do that has kind of gone to the back burner because you're building the business, and then you're wondering, when am I ever going to get time to grow? So today I want to talk about two areas that you can focus on when you're thinking about growing your business, growing your team, growing your life. And first of all, the first one I want to talk about is staff, growing a team or growing a staff. One of the huge things that we have to understand when we're in a leadership position and we have other people working for us, or we have other people on our team who can only move if we move, right? They can only move if we move, is that our first and main the forefront of whatever it is we're doing. It means as a leader, we're always searching out new ways to grow so that we can operate in that role even better, right? And so some of the ways we grow people, we may be teaching them personal development, or teaching them how to lead in their perspective positions. It could be a hairstylist position. It could be your administrative assistant. It could be front desk. I have a client that I work with who is not in the salon industry, but the business that they run, they have a team of other professionals that work with them. And so one of their biggest struggles was not even getting clients. So that's a huge thing, right? Because getting clients is so, so important. And sometimes it's often one of the areas that business owners struggle with, is getting customers or getting clients. So that wasn't this person's issue. It wasn't getting clients. It was getting the jobs done, because they owned a service-based business. It was being able to perform those services with excellence in an efficient amount of time, and in great delivery. And so they shared with me that they also had people to help them, but they struggled to get the team together. Whenever you take on a leadership position, if you own a business, you're a leader, right? Even if you're just leading your own life, but especially if you have a team of people that are working with you, for those of you who are coaches, whoever you're coaching, that has to be looked at as a part of your team, because you're helping those people to grow. Of course, you're going to have your administrative team that helps you, your accountant, your bookkeeper, maybe your social media manager, a graphic design artist, someone who helps you run your podcast, different things of that nature. You'll have that team as well, but your clients that you service in your coaching practices can be viewed as your team, because you're helping people to grow. And as we begin to look into the daily practices of this particular business, the team didn't know what to do. The team was confused and lost about what it is that they actually needed to do. How many of you have ever been in that position where maybe you just blurted out some things to your team for them to do? Most of you are visionaries, so you're constantly thinking of new things, and your team is like, I don't know what to do when, I'm overwhelmed. This was the case with this particular individual. And so what I shared with them was what they were lacking, right, had nothing to do with their team. Because sometimes if we're not careful, we look at it as if the team isn't doing something, that they should be doing, but the team needs a leader. And this is why it's so important. This is another reason I teach from a full circle perspective as a business consultant and life coach. I teach from a full circle perspective because I understand that our business only grows to the measure that we grow as the leader of the business, right? It only grows to that measure. And so what they were actually faced with was a leadership issue. So now the team is running around, they've been given all these different assignments to do, but there's no structure behind it, right? There's no structure behind it. And this is where most salon owners, service-based business owners, and coaches find themselves in a place where there is no allocated time to grow the team, right? And so what looks like the team isn't cooperating is actually that the team just doesn't have the proper guidance, right? Because we're so busy as the leader or the owner that we haven't set out time to be able to even guide or train the team. And so one of the crucial things I work with my clients on is setting up structure, right? Time management, that may be a word that you guys can easily relate to, but time management, it's so huge. And the better you become as a leader who manages time properly, the quicker you can grow your business, the quicker you can grow your team, and the more efficiently you can grow your life at the same time. And so I want to talk about just a few tips for you guys as it relates to time management. So when I started hiring administrative help, I owned a salon for 10 years. I had about 12 employees, and we were a full service salon and day spa. So we had a rotation of 3 customer care coordinators who ran our front desk operations. Your front desk is a money making magnet. So for those of you who are looking to grow this amazing, especially salon business or even service-based business, and you don't have you all would call it a receptionist or a front desk help. We called our front desk customer care coordinators. But when you haven't established that, you're usually overwhelmed with a lot of the responsibilities yourself, or your processes of bringing customers into your business is kind of hit or miss, because you're getting the phone whenever you can get the phone. You may not have a system that you go through. We had a phone script that our customer care coordinators went through. But as with a system of 3 of them, I remember when I began hiring and I hired an assistant, I knew immediately that they would need to be trained, which meant I had to sit down, take the time to develop a training system for them. So many people bring people into their business and there's no order to it. I hear so many people say when they hire administrative assistants or even an assistant, the assistant is always asking them questions, and they feel as if they might as well be doing the job themselves. But if you've taken the time to develop the proper systems for your administrative assistants, then they can follow those systems. So here's some tips for time management to be able to get all of that stuff in so that you can really, really grow your business and go to the next level, so that you won't look at growth as if it's a bigger responsibility for you, as opposed to growth being you looking for another way to create more time freedom, because that's what growth actually should be. Many of you, put me in the comments if you come on, even if you come back on the replay, you open your business because you want a measure of freedom. And so many business owners aren't free in their business. They actually feel like they're either slaves to whatever the service is that they provide, or to the business itself. And their idea of growth is actually doing more customers, when in actuality, sometimes it's about going back and developing systems that mean you don't have to put your hand to the plow in order for them to work. So as a leader, service-based business owner, coach, or salon owner, some of our responsibilities, or the responsibilities of growing a business, would be marketing, administration, customer care, team development. It's a lot of different hats as the owner when we're looking at what it actually takes in order to grow the business. And so time management is going to be of the essence for you. One of the things that I do, one, if you follow me, you know that I plan my year out the last quarter of the year. So in August, I'll be planning out 2020. I've actually started like scratching some dates down on paper for 2020 now, but I intentionally use focus time for the last quarter of the year to finalize and define what 2020, my next year, is going to be. And one of the things I do from that particular plan is I know that there are specific things in my business that I'm going to have to do every single week on. So I pick specific days for specific tasks. For instance, I have a day that I create content, right? I have a day that I record videos. I have a day that I do blog posts, a day that I upload videos. All of those go to a specific day, because what I find, because we wear so many hats as the business owner, because we haven't defined tasks with specific days, we're normally like all over the place. And so one thing I suggest you do is pick days for specific tasks. I think you should even have a day that you're meeting with your team, right? I meet with a team every Wednesday, whatever your day is going to be. This is why when you're really wanting to go on a growth path and you're in a service-based business as the owner, your vision has to be bigger than what's going on with you right now, because then you begin to implement strategies that require you to put people in different positions so that you can fully operate in the space that you should be operating in. And most of the time we're creating goals that will accommodate us for right now and not for our future, right? And so the next thing is you got to develop a system, right? Guys, so now I actually coach on Mondays. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, 3 days a week is what I dedicate to coaching in my business. I don't coach on Thursdays, Fridays, none of the other days, right? Those days are set out for coaching. So I usually run group coaching programs on Monday, and then I do some one-to-one coaching on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It's because I knew that if I coached 5, 6, 7 days a week, when would I get all of the other things done? And all of the other things are sometimes not you doing them, but you meeting with the actual team. Good morning, Natasha. How are you? With you meeting with the actual team to talk about the plan that you actually have. So how many of you have devoted time in your business to meet with your staff on a regular basis? Or your team, even if you're contracting out a videographer, or maybe you have people doing work for you from Fiverr, do you have a specific day that you're actually doing that? So when I first started hiring with my front desk, I was running into the same thing that many owners now who take on an assistant is running into. They're like, well, I'm having to tell them what to do all the time. I'm having to stop what I'm doing to make sure they're doing what they need to do. But if you create systems, guys, you can eliminate that and free up your time so that you can focus on the impactful things that are actually going to cause your company to grow. So I created what's called a task list. And I just kind of brain dumped on all of the things that I felt needed to be done every single day inside our business in order for it to operate in excellence, right? And so it would be little things like we had a big print center or a print area in my business. We did a lot of we printed our own brochures, and because I had the staff to be able to do that, right? So one copy of what our brochures look like, and as we needed more, we printed them out. And so on the task list, one of the things was to check to make sure we set a number that we wanted on hand, already printed and folded on hand at all times. So the daily task list would say, check the number of brochures we have on hand. Now, this may seem like such a small task to some of you. You might be saying, well, we got bigger fish to actually fry. But it depends on what type of brand you're building, how you want to operate your business. It depends on what amenities you're offering for your customers. It also depends on your mindset and your level of expectation that you have for new people, right, coming to your establishment. So if you have a brochure and you're able to actually speak with someone about a particular service and then offer them a brochure, you're actually creating more awareness about your brand and who you are. And if you are in expectation, then you're always expecting to grow. You're always expecting to encounter new people, and so you are prepared. So on our task list, it would say, check to see the number of brochures we have on hand. You guys get that? And if the number was lower than what our number was to have on hand already prepared, then that front desk person would know they needed to start printing and producing more brochures. You guys get that? So we have things like, so because I was a full service salon and spa, we had different treatment rooms. Our esthetician's room, our massage room, our petty room, and then our hair area. And so each each room needed to have a certain number of supplies, clean, available, towels, whatever it was that the technician would need to perform those services without us saying, oh, we don't have any more clean this, or we ran out of that. So there was a checklist in each room, right? We just made a photocopy, a checklist of things that were needed in each room so that we always had what we needed on hand. And on the main task list or daily task list, it would have go through and check inventory in each room. And that front desk person would know that they go in the drawer, get one of the forms, check off what we had and what we didn't have, and then create a list so that I would always know what we were running out of, what needed to be purchased, or if it was something like some of our supplies and products, my customer care coordinators ordered for us. So they would always know, right? This saves you time. For those of you who, you own a service-based business and you do have a staff that works for you, how uncomfortable is it for you, if you're still providing services yourself within the business, for the staff to come to you and say, we don't have any more toilet tissue. There are no more towels. These are things that leaders, unfortunately, who are in growth stages themselves are running into, and it's because they haven't created the space and time or systems in their business, those foundational things, so that they're not constantly putting out small fires all the time. What happens when your time management is off? This is how you increase your productivity rate, because you've created systems for things that actually just work. And that way you're not managing people, you're managing systems. And so developing a daily task list, this is you all's action step for today. For those of you who are service-based business owners, maybe you're a salon owner or a coach and you have a team, do a dump list. Do a dump list of all the things that your business needs every day to service a customer, and not just the customer that's on your book for the day, right? Because we're thinking progressively as if we're getting new people all the time and we're in preparation for those new people. But make a dump list of everything in your business that needs to be done. And this task list did so much for my business. One, it freed up my time. Two, it helped us to run a more efficient business, right? But thirdly, the task list also created a level of accountability for my customer care coordinators. So remember I said I had 3 customer care coordinators who were on staff at any given time. And most of them would work the same day, like all 3 of them normally work within the same day. Most of my customer care coordinators were college students who were maybe 2 years from graduating, right? And so we would do shifts. And so when one person came in, they would check off everything that they did, and then the next person would come in and looking at the same list, so they had to sign off on the list as well. Like they would check off what they did, and then they just put their little signature on it at the bottom. But it creates this level of accountability where the owner is not necessarily micromanaging the team, because the next person sees this person has signed off saying they've done this. It makes it harder for people to be less integral, right? Saying stuff they didn't do, because they know their team member is coming in on the next shift and they're going to know whether or not those things have been done. So when you put the proper systems in place, you can truly grow your business, guys. So many of you, when you hear the word growth or you're faced with an opportunity that will actually allow you to grow your business, your first thoughts are, I'm already overwhelmed. I can't even begin to imagine doing anything on a greater magnitude because of all of the stuff that I'm responsible for now. But if you grow as a leader and develop better time management, you can grow your business with much more ease, right? So another thing, schedule breaks. Schedule breaks. Now, So many times we'll say, I'll do it on my break, and then we never get one. Schedule a break like you're scheduling something to do on your list. Make sure you have breaks scheduled in. Schedule time off. I shared with you guys that I only coach 3 days a week. The rest of my week is left to, about 80% of my time is spent on my mindset. So I'm learning, training, reading, researching for clients, things of that nature. That's 80% of my time is spent up leveling myself mentally, and the other part is spent actually implementing, right? And so when you create, and this is so crazy because our mindset really has to shift, especially for those of you who own a service-based business, and maybe your craft, whether it's videography, maybe you were a hairstylist prior to being an owner, or a makeup artist, or you own some type of service-based business, real estate owner, maybe you own a driving service. I have, one client that I speak to, hey Natasha, how are you? I'm glad you're enjoying it, that I speak to, who has a car service. So a lot of times when we first open the business, we're also providing the service, right? At some point, if you really want to grow, you have to get out of the space where you're the person doing all of the servicing, right? You're getting yourself in a position where you can systematize what it is that you do and teach someone else. Those processes can be duplicated, but you never have the time for that if you don't come from behind the chair, or come from behind the car, or come from behind the camera, or come from, maybe you make products, or come from behind the production of the thing, to be able to train, develop systems, and really, really grow your business. Guys, that is my take for today. If you want to grow your business, do not think of growth as in something else that you want to do, because growth for a real leader is when they're eliminating the amount of things that they have to do day in and day out, week in and week out, and they're really niching out what their role is, so that they can get in a space of mastering that and then delegating other things out to really, really grow the business. So when you think of growth, don't think of it like, oh God, I'm going to have 50 more things to do, because your next level of growth is really going to be you searching for more time freedom to become better at what that main thing is that you bring to your business, that you do, that you enjoy, that you love, that is productive for the business. And sometimes we think servicing an actual client is what is, progressive for our business, when in actuality, as the owner and the visionary, fully operating in that visionary space is oftentimes the biggest role you could ever play in your business, right? Because now remember I said you've scheduled breaks, you've scheduled days off with free time, and that free time gives you space to think. When we're in the thick of things, right, when we're doing all that busy stuff, it's impossible to think about bigger moves in your business, because you're putting out fires, you're only handling day-to-day things, and you can't see past your right now. So scheduling in time for rest and breaks is super, super important. As you grow as a leader, your business will grow as well. Guys, I have an amazing announcement that I have been wanting. I put a date on when I would announce it, and it's been like super hard for me not to announce it. I've actually been giving little hints here and there, because I'm so ready to make it available publicly. I've already shared it with many of my private clients, and I'm super, super excited. So you guys stay connected. If you haven't liked the page, in the next 2-3 days, I will be announcing an amazing opportunity for those of you who are service-based business owners, coaches, and salon owners who really want to get on a serious growth path. Not necessarily where you're doing more busy work, right? But where you're really, really growing your business. For those of you, you're like, hey, I want to hear about it right now. You can message me on my Facebook business page, facebook.com/build with Tanya. I've created an amazing space for leaders, and I can't wait to share it. But for those of you, you're like, look, I can't wait 2 to 3 days. Just inbox me the word leadership, and I'll send you some of the details. I'm almost half full of the amount of people that I'm accepting for this opportunity. And it's amazing. The atmosphere is beautiful. It's one of wealth, meaning spiritually, tangibly, and well-being. Just a really great space for leaders to grow, and I'm super excited about it. But first, guys, as a leader, remember your business grows to the level that you grow as a leader. And the better you get at creating systems in your business, the quicker your business will grow, and the quicker, sooner and faster your profits will too. Have a super, super amazing day. Peace.